So here we go. It is our game number 1 set between Beasty versus DeMu. We're starting off with front rage, Golden Horde for Beasty up against the House of Lancaster for DeMu, and the players are also anxiously ready to get into these games. So we're gonna be Okay, never mind. I just heard we can't trust the timer. Never mind.
I mean, it's got to be soon. Surely it'll be soon here, you know?
Surely. The timer was just about to end. Surely we could trust it somewhat. Okay, we can't trust the timer.
No, not by any means, but Beasty versus DeMu, a long-awaited series. I'm sure people are hyped about this one. You know, there's a lot of Beasty fans out there, a lot of people surprised to see him not qualified so far. So, you know, still a good bit of ways to go to try to get qualified. And here we go, game number 1 beginning. DeMu planning on a Dark Age spear opening with House of Lancasters. Beasty, Golden Horde, opting for more of the normal opening.
Yeah, catching up to a live game here from the looks of it. We do have, of course, a little scouts quickly lines going on, so we can tell exactly where they maneuver, as Beasty Scout has suddenly transformed into a yellow line, exclamation mark blame in the chat. Never mind, we switched colors. It all makes sense.
Still, exclamation mark blame anyways, you know, just cause.
Just because, we gotta get that timer going, got to get the timer, the counter up. By the end of the tournament, we want to reach 1,000. How about that? That's a goal. Oh, Beasty, is he? He doesn't have enough gold now. If the spearmen arrive in time, spearmen. He knows how much gold has been gathered here so far, so he knows that Beasty doesn't have enough.
Oh,
fortified outpost. That's in range of the TC. So cannot actually get taken down. Spearman debating a little bit. He wants to idle out Beasty's economy just by forcing him into his TC there a little bit. 5 spearmen now.
It's still like, while DeMu's delayed his own age up quite a bit, he's forced quite a bit of a reaction from Beasty. Beasty has quite a bit of a delayed age up as well, but Beasty doesn't have 5 spears out on the field to deal with it. He's just going to have a nice old building to help protect his Uvu, help protect his gold vein.
Now, fortified outpost is going to get put up. So secures the gold as well as the Uvu for the time being. Though, still probably wants to extract at least a little bit of value out of these spearmen. So it's going to force some more idle time there on Beasty.
It's just going to be this constant back and forth. This is where that outpost positioning, it just baits you a little bit. Yeah, Spearman's going to take a little bit of damage, but with the walking time it takes, those villagers still just getting idled over and over again. And DeMu, his age up timing going to be very similar to what Beasty's is here. Might even beat Beasty's age up timing here.
Alright, Cal just let me know a little fun fact. There's a 5-second cooldown on the exclamation mark blame command, so it would take 40.7 minutes of people constantly spamming the blame command to have it reach 1,000. I think that's a pretty good goal to reach. Still, idling out on the gold vein here. Villagers now getting relatively low on health, and Beasty just missing a little bit of gold to be able to go for the age up.
Yeah, and that lower health Phil has to be careful, has to be watching, staying on his toes. Beasty does send out 2 more villagers, but lower health villagers go to the outside towards the spears. Scout here to tank up a little bit of the arrow fire as well to keep those spears a little bit healthier. Beasty has enough to age up finally. Khan and Torgoods is in queue.
It'll take a while, 100 more seconds for that to come in. In the meantime, 5 villagers working on that Abbey of Kings. Villagers also moving out to the stone outcropping there.
Yeah, and then, what was it, 5 villagers moving out to the stone for DeMu, so might be going for a little second TC play. Would be very proactive for gathering for some arrow slits and whatnot upgrades, but you never know with some of these players. Manners, I guess, is actually the idea for DeMu.
Spearmen just still being so annoying here throughout the entire time, and none of them have gone down yet. And you gotta imagine, like, if that Abbey of Kings, when that Abbey of Kings finishes up, DeMu in theory has the chance to just send the Spearmen back for a little healing trip to the spa. Gonna get the full health back up on those spears.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those that you're like, Yeah, this is a win. Let me just head on home, and yeah, that's definitely a victory here for DeMu as far as this early game goes. Delayed BC's age up significantly, caused a significant amount of idle time, allows DeMu to be potentially greedy, and might not just go for one manor like we've seen a lot of players go, might go for a second manor here as well.
Now, this is not the end of the world for Beasty, because during this extended Dark Age, he was continuously still gathering up that stone with the Uvu, so didn't get blocked out there. He's now, with the Age Up finishing, gonna have additional stone ready for him to be spent on the units there.
First manor is finished already, and DeMu gathered up enough stone. Has another 100 in the bank still.
Yeah, so this was... Wait. Did he hit that? Oh no, I think the scout actually hit the ball there from Beasty. Holding that one on to the Lord of Lancaster. And I think he's gonna try and go for it again. Or is he?
Oh, we will end...
Where? Yeah, he's going for it again.
There are 4 spears here and the Lord, so maybe DeMu just says, all right, let me kill it and stop this annoyance here. Nope, he'll take more damage.
Is he gonna go? Oh, tank it up with the scout. There we go. Now he's going for it. Yeah. Very good play. He's gonna get himself the boar nice and early. Yeah. Just gonna be able to move back for a second, get all the units healed up within like 2 seconds. Get some upgrades in the meantime. Already has enough wood for a blacksmith. Wants to go for a big massive hobelas here. And Beasty already prepared some of the walls here to just make it a little bit harder for DeMu to maneuver around his base.
Yeah, but DeMu does have quite a bit of military that is starting to build on up. 4 lords already out. Hobbelars in queue now as well. 1 spearman will be thrown away here though. Beasty though, going for that greedy approach, is starting to make some archers for home. Starting to try to maybe circle around with, you know, doing a little bit of raiding and getting wheelbarrow on in. But as far as just military numbers, DeMu has that favor and has the 4 lords.
Something as well to keep in mind, the Torguds, very tanky, but they barely do damage. Like 10 damage, that's not a lot. That is not a lot at all. It's like Hobbler level of damage almost, so the Hobbelars, they can, for the most part, kind of ignore them. Makes it very difficult for the Torguds to be good enough of a meat shield to keep the backline and with the archers safe. So Beasty is also starting to add him some spearmen as well.
Yeah, and sure enough, the spears are starting to build, so we'll have an actual front line to help deal with, well, to do some damage on the other side to the Hobbelars. Going ahead and grabbing some point of interest, some extra information that we could see. Hobbelars, I think, are circling around for DeMu. Going to try to find a spot to do raiding. Beasty's already dropped walls, though, and does have that fortified outpost still.
Second Uvu out there at the front side, but yeah, Yeoman coming in now for DeMu. He is already on that second manor. That we did see that one earlier. So overall, his economy is looking quite good at the moment, though overall pretty similar to the economy that BC is going for him at the same time.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. The big question is going to be, what can these players do with the military masses that they're building up? Usually with House of Lancasters, we're seeing this kind of all-in timing with the 4 lords. Hey, my units are going to be tankier. My overall military mass is going to trade better to yours. I got Hobbelars to dive TC during that if they want to. But Beasty is trying to just build this mass for defense and still cause DeMu to stay on the back foot a little bit with these Torguds circling.
More Torguds being massed behind this as well. Beasty now also moving out to one of the boars here. Is going to pull it a little bit closer towards that wood line here. Can't really put it much closer towards the berries. And Hobbelars are going to find that. So we'll have the information that this has been going on. Koresh also being added there early for Beasty just to buff up the entire military there from him with some additional armor. And overall, military is looking quite strong here for Beasty. Can never underestimate the military force from the Golden Horde. Courage just adding in a lot of value. And the Torguds making the Batu Khan, incredibly tanky. And Batu Khan, the longer a fight goes on, the more signaling arrows he shoots out is going to continuously buff up the entire army to, I think it's like 20 or 30%. I think it scales with the age up as well, though.
Yeah, we do see DeMu continuing to mass up as well, though, dropping an outpost on his boar, so both players trying to protect up that food economy that is forward. Couple farms actually dropped for DeMu as well behind this, just preventing or trying to prevent this. One of the big drawbacks of this map, which is when you run out of food, sometimes you just can't find another spot to go to. We saw that happen to Scatterbrain earlier today against Baltoon, but DeMu, he was a couple seconds late from the fortified outpost from finishing. Beasty will have knowledge, information of this, but the masses, DeMu wants to make a move, wants to be aggressive here. More farms.
Already adding a couple in there. Early farm transition. And already up on 18 yeomen, so keeping an even archer count compared to the yeomen. That's a lot of value there for DeMu. Needs to be careful though with this engagement. As the additional HP there, thanks to a lot of Lancaster. Most of the blacksmith upgrades already in for him as well.
Yeah, and as long as these units stay alive, they can always get, you know, healed back on up. But Beasty healing back on up his fortified outpost, so the torch damage that DeMu did is not really too useful in the long run. Beasty, though, it feels like starting to run out of those food resources like we were talking about. So if DeMu continues to idle out that boar, Beasty will not be able to mass up as much.
Looks like the Yemen trying to go for some shots here and there, but there's still the emplacement now up on the outpost. Demo has to be careful because once the resources are going to be running out there on his side of the map, the Stealth Forest at the moment, the outpost is controlled by Beasty, so he's going to get vision on that area, should there be a move out eventually. For the time being, both players just investing more into the military, more targets coming in behind this, more spearmen, more yeomen for DeMu.
Yeah, DeMu just watching that boar from afar. He knows he wants to do something, wants to try to deny it, but doesn't feel comfortable enough to pull the trigger, although his mass, it's been building rather fast. You can see the overall numbers is just favoring him just a slight bit as far as the military goes.
Army getting split up a little bit. Plus in Yemen still moving forward. Not sure what the Lords are planning, and Beasty behind this already going for really early stockyard transition, food transition, and suddenly this all happened so rapidly. Both players stockpiling the resources.
Got to get
Potentially
castle.
going for an age up, yeah. The question is, where's DeMu gonna be going for the age up? Because he could drop the keep in the middle of the map and secure a lot of map control that way.
There's the Muscovy Yasak, and Beasty still on these back resources for himself. Running lower on the last few deer, though. Does have the berries right here next to it. DeMu, next drop off of gold, will decide where he wants to drop his age up.
And it's going to be the King's College inside of space, so doesn't opt for the White Tower. Interesting play there. King's College, what can you really do with that? I mean, there's the faster Hobbler tech with the damage upgrade, with the charge damage upgrade on it. Can get some stronger knights against armored units. What else? Could be getting more bonus damage. And also unlock the hand cannoneers in Castle Age. That could be pretty good.
Yeah, DeMu just, I feel like with this choice, it's kind of like a, hey, this next engagement is really going to be the decider here, so let me just get a little bit of a tech advantage before that engagement comes on. We'll have about 30 extra seconds for himself as far as that timing goes, though.
It's gonna have to be careful with the focusing here, though, because all of these armored units are gonna be getting an intense amount of armor in. So yeah, man, even with the veterancy, are barely gonna be able to do a scratch to them.
Castle Age has finished. Both players now starting to get some more blacksmith upgrades. DeMu obviously has queued up both the veterancies. And the third veterancy, actually. So we'll get all three veterancies going on his side. Sometimes you'll see these players, like, you know, say, all right, let me transition away from Hobbelars, go into Knights and stop, you know, not worry about that upgrade. But DeMu is finding that he thinks he has enough value for all three veterancy upgrades.
Single cache, going for a deeper dive. Does have the additional armor, so it's going to be difficult for ranged units to do anything to him. Soldiers on the deer are going to get pre-moved now. It's going to be knights here for DeMu. All the veterancy upgrades going to be finishing up here soon. Looks like the villagers did move out throughout the middle. But they did take their time in order to decap the outpost. But still, most likely, Beasty did see that that move out there. That one Kashik's just sitting on the berries now.
Villager for Beasty moving on out. Probably gonna go ahead and drop another Uvu location would be my thought.
Should be. Yep. Yeah, indeed. Uvu's getting dropped there. Kashik's still on the coal down on the berries down there, and now a little wall in from DeMu. Gonna be able to safely gather up there in the corner.
Yeah, we'll have the deer and the gold behind that wall, so it feels very good about investing into the wall, as even though I feel like DeMu is typically the player that you don't see walling as much.
Not walling the base, but walling these like proxy resources, definitely an option for him.
Yep.
Just not the base.
Just not the base. Beasty trying to find some damage, trying to find some raiding spots to go to, but still just neither player being able to find a, you know, successful raid, successful damage into the actual economy.
Is Beasty going imp? He's at 2,000 food in the bank. DeMu also banking up a ton of resources. I mean, legitimately, Wingard Palace for House of Lancaster, pumping out those spearmen, still an option.
It is definitely
greedy, but
option.
Still an option.
Beasty, similar options if he desires. I think it might have just been one of these weird timings where he ran out of the gold at base and had to make that long walk, and by the time he gets to the next gold, he just has this giant bank of food like we see.
Oh, looks like Beasty does find the villagers there in the corner, pulls the entire military force from DeMu to the back there.
The tankiness is definitely showing there from those Golden Horde units. They are able to just tank up a ton of that ranged fire. It's like toothpicks hitting them, and they're just laughing, running on away.
Oh, one of the tall boots is going to get pinched there. Will get taken down. Outpost also gets captured on up. Rolex only just now starting to get taken. DeMu already brought one back. Second one is on its way. BC now switching into some additional horsemen alongside some crossbowmen.
DeMu still got 1,200 food in the bank. Beasty finally spent his little reserve. You can see 8 horsemen, 3 crossbows.
That's going to be 16 horsemen, yeah, with the batch production. It's going to be quite a lot coming in there soon. And he's also getting a ton of stone in, so could potentially research one of the triple production upgrades soon.
Yeah, could have a lot going for himself here. Another attempted raid. This one just about to connect onto some villagers, but still not quite to the fullest effect. One villager falls. Looks like DeMu does have a worry on those frontside berries, has an outpost there, but he will be forced to take this fight. It looks like outpost starting to be burnt. All of his army is not here. Remember, Beasty pulled a huge mass of his army over to the west side, over in all of that stealth forest, gave Beasty the opportunity to close the gap, take down the outpost, take down a free 5 villagers.
Oh, looks like there's soon going to be an engagement coming in. Is that padded armor already being researched? On the horseman? Looks like it. It is indeed padded armor already. Not sure if the tooltip is correct or not. Fight seems to be getting taken now. Synchronized shot, a big one coming in.
Huge synchronized
It's a huge
shot.
connection.
A lot of AoE damage here, but Beasty still taking the fight. Has rallying Horseman, but the upgrades aren't all
Horsemen
the way
are
through
still
yet for Beasty.
feudal.
They
Horsemen
are
are
still
still
feudal
feudal.
Horsemen. And this is one where DeMu, he's happy to take this fight. Beasty is about to have his whole entire Horseman mass wiped out before the upgrades come through. The upgrades are finally through, and where are the Horsemen? Where's his mass?
This point just feels a little bit too late. A lot of Lancaster are going to get slammed out, immediately getting put back into the queue. Batukan also now going to be going down. Beasty just lost his entire mass of units, 60 to 30 military. DeMu doubling the army count and is going to be able to eliminate every single archer as Beasty's going to retreat here.
Yeah, eliminate every archer, burn down this fortified outpost if he so desires. A couple more villagers are inside of that, so we'll at least have some return economic damage. But this is a point too where for Beasty to remass right now, it's just so much of it. What kind of keep is that?
That is a free-for-all keep. That's where you're going to be putting your king in next.
For real though. Oh. The keep is touching the edge of the map at the complete opposite side of Beasty's base.
Gotta keep that king safe. At the same time, Beasty, his food income is still looking very, very strong. 7 stockyards out there at the moment. Ooh, starting to get it burnt down now.
Production getting close to get sat on. This is when things can start to get bad for the Golden Horde, as those production buildings, if you start making your double batch units and both get taken out immediately, just you're throwing away your resources. Crossbows able to escape.
Can we take a quick look at some Horsemen for Beasty, just to check out the ranged armor stats on them? Okay, so they do have the full +2 ranged armor there as well, so they're around 7 ranged armor. It's pretty strong. Oh, engagement seems to be taken again here shortly. There's a good amount of knights in for DeMu. Crossbow mass, though, in for Beasty as well. There's a couple of spearmen left. The archers are going to have to focus down the crossbows. Big synchronized! Oh my god!
The synchronized shot just was in the perfect spot there for DeMu, so another big bit of AoE. Knights on the front line just proving to be enough, allowing the yeomen to just hide inside of of their defenses here, and still a lot more units for Beasty falling.
Beasty, though, also able to even out the military a little bit. DeMu hasn't been focusing the crossbows too much there. So a lot of the knights did end up going down there, and I mean, where's the reinforcements at? They don't all seem to be here. Finally starts focusing on the crossbows again.
They were burning the fortified outpost, I think. Or the mill, something. There they are.
I think that is it. Yeah, they're finally, there they are.
They're finally arriving.
In.
The rest of Beasty's army is such low health, though. Those units will basically fall over with a feather, but Beasty still equalized the numbers and is giving himself time. He's expanded onto this northern side of the map. He's got walls to protect himself for a little bit of time, but can DeMu continue this damage, starting to take down this fortified outpost that was built at the very start of the game?
Horseman raids again into Hobelas alongside the Spearmen. Currently only crossbows and horsemen coming in for Beasty, so DeMu in theory in a pretty good position. Some more villagers getting picked off on the stockyards now. Fight getting taken, another synchronized shot coming in. Doesn't find too many connections there though. The Yeomen diving in deeper now, trying to snipe out some villagers. Are going to be getting the first kill in there.
And with the lords here, just those units are tanking up so much fire. Beasty just doesn't have enough units here to actually take down that forward mass.
Yeomen are going to get all killed out now. Yep. Some more units overall going down, but there's still more reinforcements coming in. Uwu starting to get replaced. More lots of Lancaster coming in. Where's the main army for DeMu at the moment? Looks to just be focused on the back of his base.
I feel like he got so much cleared out there, and while he did pick up some villagers, he did get some return damage. It just feels like Beasty has done what he needed to equalize his footing here in this game and give himself a way back in it.
Yeah, for sure. Moment's not looking too bad here for Beasty. Even though still with some very, very solid income. And he in theory still has the option, of course, of going for an age up. Going for the Imperial Age with the Wind Guard. And once the Wind Guard comes in, it's just going to be non-stop military spam for the House of Lancaster. And with the college as well, especially, just the discount on all of the upgrades is going to be pretty huge. But now a lot of idle time on the villagers here. DeMu, he's going to have to pull the other ones away as well.
A little bit late to pull the villagers on the wood line away. Another synchronized shot going in, but there were only a few.
It's only two
in here, so it didn't really matter too much. If there had been more, that could have been a detrimental force on Beasty's ranged mass. But Beasty still taking this fight. A lot of DeMu's army is not here, is away, but Yeoman. Hobblear's taking up the crossbows so well. They're on that back line.
And once again, now with the additional Hobblear charge damage coming in, like, look at how much damage they're going to be doing here. Oh, two-shotting the crossbows with the charge. As once again completely cleaned up for Beasty, and DeMu now has a lot more torch damage units here at the front side.
Yeah, Beasty felt good about moving out of his base, thought he could, you know, potentially start having himself that comeback. It looked like military numbers were getting closer to even, but you blink and all of a sudden DeMu is right back, remassed on up, taking a winning engagement again. Beasty having to try to defend again.
Beasty now wants to go for a switch up into Man-at-Arms. Food income still looking very good for him. It's just that Golden Horde, it takes a while for them to initially get the units out with the batch production, so it'll be a while until these Men-at-Arms are going to be coming in. Now DeMu, moving past, is going to be looking for the villagers from Beasty inside the Stealth Forest. Maybe, maybe not. A little bit of a loop around there. But is going to be getting a glimpse at just how good the economy is from Beasty, as he's sitting on 12 stockyards at the moment.
Yeah, he finds a few of those stockyards, figures, okay, let me trade out. Oh my, that charge. Able to pick off another couple villagers on the way out. So DeMu does take the villager lead after Beasty had it for just a little bit of time. Will Beasty have the time for these batch unit productions?
Yeah, at the moment, it's really taking everything he's got to just keep a modicum of military out there. He's done a great job of remassing time and time again, even trying to go for another TC. Now, that is going to get spotted out by DeMu, though.
Spotted out immediately as it's being built. Villagers, a mass amount of villagers being pulled this way. Has to evacuate that location at least for a little bit of time. Needs to send some military mass on over to deal with that, but has a lot of ranged units, and those ranged units don't do too well into that.
Sacred Sides picked up behind this now. 3-2 on the relic split as well. Moment, things are looking good for DeMu, but he is struggling when it comes to finally, like, finding a way to end this game. More villager kills getting found, though. So economic damage being done. We're also still with very, very solid food income behind this. And yeah, able to clean up all the villagers there on the gold at the top side.
Yeah, great job there. Also knows that, okay, now Beasty has his second TC going for himself. How much, you know, time do I have? But Beasty, he again is going to try to make this push. Doesn't feel comfortable enough to fully close that gap. Still having to try to deal with some of these raids in that northern side. And those are not going to be the end of them.
Oh, army man from
left on the
DeMu
backside, though.
Looks like there's some more yeomen coming in now. A lot of Hobblears here at the front side. Horseman gonna have to get pulled back, try to defend the ranged unit, the ranged back line. Damage arrow coming in as well. Was trying to go for the engagement, can't quite seem to find the connection onto the ranged units. Synchronized shot, forcing some movement. Actually, Beasty having the army lead now in the numbers department.
I mean, yeah, this was a really good fight for him. Took down a lot of the lords, took down a lot of that frontline mass. There are still, you know, some of the yeomen, some of the hobilars, but not actually. There's no more hobilars now for DeMu.
And no more hobilars indeed. Yeoman gonna have to pull back for the time being. 24 to 44 military now. And Beasty just non-stop pumping out the archers behind this.
Spots out the mass that was moved on over to that wood line, so tons of villagers over there. Beasty just won a fight, a huge engagement here, and now DeMu has about 30 plus villagers that are trying to run from this mass to Beasty, but there isn't a lot of military to defend this. DeMu now taking the dive again, needs to protect those villagers on up. Beasty has reinforcements that were a little bit further away.
More units coming in, double synchronized shot coming in. Beasty needing to go for the dodge there. Even the short bows coming in, at least a little bit on the sidelines. More knights trying to hold the position here. And looks like DeMu is going to be able to push Beasty back here now.
Yeah, Beasty not quite able to make that decisive push. Villagers, though, with their short bows, there's 40 villagers idled for DeMu right now, and I'm not sure if that even includes the villagers with the short bows that are attacking.
It should be. Yeah, wood is starting to run thin. The manor's kind of working overtime here behind this. Just generating that little bit of wood that DeMu needs behind all of this. Oh, he's been rallying villagers forward throughout this the entire time.
Dude, the wood that's gone. There's nothing to gather there. They're still going.
Oh my god. Okay, he realizes.
Look at the stockyard eco, though. I mean, this is wild. The second TC now for Beasty 2 is starting to pay off after winning those engagements. It's not like DeMu will all of a sudden be able to end this game. Looks like DeMu tried to move out to the next gold vein and wall it in, and Beasty was already a step ahead and did not allow DeMu to do so. Speaking of walls, we got a mid wall coming in.
A nice little straight wall there, right through the middle. Beasty's still out on the Still Forest gathering up there. Has been harassed there by some of the knights. DeMu now also working on some of his own crossbows, but Beasty's just going for mass archers and horsemen now, so the crossbows are going to be coming out as a delayed reaction to the Kashyyyks and not actually going to be able to counter out any of the units now.
Beasty taking more of this mid-map now. Not just the gold behind his walls, going for another little bit of a dive, but more importantly, this just keeps DeMu inside of his base and allows Beasty to be the aggressor, to be the one on the front foot rather than the back foot like he was on for so much time earlier. And guess what? Beasty's going Imperial.
Stone army's gonna be coming in, so Beasty will be able to utilize all of his stone for some quick army production, military production. DeMu behind this, just still continuing to mass up more and more units. Has a good amount of farms here. Overall income not looking too bad, but Beasty is just looking a good bit better here with this entire stockyard economy. 2,500 food almost per minute. DeMu at 1,500.
Yeah, DeMu just wasn't ever able to close the gap with the timing it felt like he had. Ended up losing a lot of units in a couple different engagements, and Beasty stabilizing, and now will have the tech advantage here soon. Already starting to bank up those resources for some of those Imperial Age upgrades, and still continuing to make sure this mid-map control is his with the points of interest and just with the walls that he's building as well.
Last taking control of the outpost there in the middle is going to find the villagers on the gold. Beasty sending units after them. DeMu almost population capped. Finds the workers on the gold back here. Beasty running back with them, but the charge damage too big. Is not going to be able to keep them safe. Some work is going to get taken down. Not the biggest loss here considering he's on 2 TC though.
Yeah, both players about to be max population. Big difference here is the Beasty is about to be Imperial Age max population. Meanwhile, DeMu does not have the food yet to go up. Does have the gold sitting in the bank. Beasty looks like he's going for a little bit of a flank here. More villagers. Oh, finding a route to escape, barely.
We'll try to follow up there. Villager barely staying alive. Age up has now been reached by Beasty. And then we might be trying to go for a follow-up there as well. Look at these horsemen, just how tanky they are. The arrow damage not really doing too much there to them. Plus need to be careful though, they are expensive. They do cost gold after all. So they were not wanting to lose those. Yeah, Age up should be coming in soon for him as well.
Yeah, DeMu not too far away from starting his age up. The key here for Beasty, though, is he's got 2 different elite upgrades coming in the next couple seconds that should allow him a big timing that he could try to take advantage of. Spears, not enough here for Beasty to be worried, it seems.
Now Wing-Up Palace going to be coming in. Oh, units getting trapped there. Gate not finished up. Going to be able to make their way out. And Beasty with the forward over there right in front of DeMu's wall.
Yeah, just taking up this crossbow fire with the mass that he has. Burns down the gate. He's ready to keep on this aggression. DeMu has reached Imperial Age. Beasty realizes, okay, let me go defend my gold villagers here.
Same time, Beasty pushing forward. Big military mass coming in. Roost tributes also very, very heavily upgraded now. It's actually a very strong unit.
Yeah, and this is one now where DeMu's army is fighting 2 different split fights that it feels like he might just not have the numbers together for. It looks like a lot of the army is still up in that western side trying to get there. Synchronized shot comes in, does not hit the main mass from Beasty.
Lots of flankcasters getting focused down. Villagers still jumping inside of the TC, trying their best there to do damage to range mass as well. Roost tributes tanking at the front line. More spearmen coming in. Front line from DeMu still looking strong. They lose a couple more villagers alongside this entire fight. But able to reduce Beasty's mass here significantly.
Yeah, Beasty's front line just disappeared. He split off some of it, tried to go for some economy, and a lot of it was actually dealing with DeMu's army on that northern side. But the second TC for Beasty is starting to get out of hand, it seems. The economy is starting to get out of hand where, yeah, even if he loses this mass, he will be able to remass up in the blink of an eye. You can already see his queue. You can already see his resource bank. Beasty is just ready to keep this aggression up and keep on the pedal to the metal.
Both trying their best, but yeah, it's just these horsemen with the unique upgrades. So much armor on them. Still, a good amount of spearmen. Able to reduce the military count there on the cavalry from Beasty. All just courtesy of that Wing-Up Palace. Being able to get this many spearmen in time.
Yeah, military numbers dead even yet again. But Beasty just has 50 extra economic units to save for himself over here.
Scouts now also coming in. It's a pretty strong unit mass. Just looking at the armor on these horsemen. Biology also coming in now. Or bloodlines rather.
We're also seeing some flaming arrows. You can just see the difference in the resource banks. DeMu's just struggling for upgrades. 1, 2 upgrades here and there. Meanwhile, Beasty, it feels like he's clicking anything and everything he wants.
Ooh, we're getting the Karash Edict as well. 1 unit inside of the keep. This truly looks like a free-fall build.
It might be. Beasty does at least have the Sacred Site timer going for himself here. Horseman raid into the wood economy. There are some spears here, but will it be enough? Beasty's still fine with trading Horseman for more idle time, more eco damage as well. Just knowing the position he's in. He's 200 out of 200. DeMu, he's struggling. He's sitting at 140 total pop.
Beasty having 7,000 resources in the bank. Collected resources overall. Look at the resources collected in the stats there. Is that accurate? Beasty with 50,000 more resources. That is, yeah, that can't be accurate.
It's got to be a little bit messed up over here, I'm sure, but The Horseman spam has started and is just going to be never ending with how many upgrades they have. It's kind of one of those like, why not? Trash units thrown away, but providing so much value here for Beasty.
DeMu does have a very solid army count at this point in time now as well. Granted, also mostly just trash units, but it's the Wingard Palace that is able to just provide you with so many, or such a big flood of spearmen there. Gonna be able to just keep the space pretty safe from these horseman raids. Replenish the numbers every time.
6 minutes till Sacred Site victory, so at the very least what Beasty is doing with all of this aggression is just giving him more time to reinforce those sacred sites, to remass back up and continue to hurt DeMu's economy.
See, now moving forward, does have the incendiary upgrade in. Sick type bowstrings also being researched right now. And yeah, villagers gonna have to get pulled from the front side. No incendiaries in yet for DeMu. We're gonna be seeing a synchronized shot here soon, potentially.
There's still so many units here from DeMu. He was able to remass up so quickly with the Wind Guard, but is it going to be enough here to defend the extra text that Beasty has on his side, and not only defend, but to make a push after that?
Good shot. Yeah, it is a difficult situation. To be fair, the Spearmen, though, whenever they do go down, they're just getting remassed immediately with the Wingard Palace again. So it feels like it's a little bit of a hopeless situation, just trying to focus on taking down the spears as they just come back non-stop. Additional Spearmen now also going for some raids there, killing some of Beasty's villagers. He can afford losing some, though, at 130 economy. But it's going to lead to a decap on the sacred side, so DeMu making sure the game is going to continue going on here for a little bit longer, at very least.
Yep, Sacred Site timer no longer there. Beasty has so much into economy right now that his military numbers just can't be the same as what DeMu's were. DeMu was sitting at over 100 military pop, and that's not possible when you got 100. Oh, synchronized shot right on the gate. What so perfect timing.
Didn't do that much damage, but it looked like a really, really good connection there.
A lot of those archers are lower health for Beasty, but he's just able to continue this production, able to remass back up so easily with such a massive bank that it just doesn't matter for DeMu, because yeah, DeMu, he's got 3 queues of the Wingard, but nothing else in queue. Meanwhile, Beasty has 22 horsemen and 15 archers in queue.
And that is batch production, so count that times 2. Fight getting taken. Yeah, man, they don't have the silk type bowstring, so they're trying to actually pass by the Mami. Oh my god, he just lost all the ranged units. He just lost all of the ranged units.
This might finally be the beginning of the end here for DeMu. He's starting to run out of steam. Meanwhile, Beasty, I've been saying it, but there's no end in sight with his queue. He's just got more resources than he knows what to do with, and just will continue this aggression until DeMu finally just runs out of steam, runs out of economy.
Behind this Beasty, I mean, realistically at this point, he could just fully max pop himself with just hand cannoneers.
Just sitting onto the front side farms, sending horsemen into the economy over and over again. And now DeMu wants to try to get on top of that archer mass with his grouping. But there's so many spears. Like you said, they do get remassed so quickly with the Wind Guard, but that's just, they're just cannon fodder here. They're just getting thrown away.
Yeah, are getting thrown away. Beasty did allow the food economy there for quite a while, but still, DeMu, yeah, he's now at 140 population, no longer glued to that 200 of 200. Beasty, on the other hand side, very difficult to get him off the 200 of 200, and now we see a switch up. Looks like it's gonna be, which upgrade is that? Is that gonna be for the, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be for the Kipchak upgrade. Triple shot gonna be coming in. So might be a transition now into the Kipchaks. Wondering if he already has the triple batch production upgrade on the archery rangers at this point.
I'm sure he does at this point in the game. There's 9 kip checks in queue, so he'll be able to pump the kip check number up so fast. Still doing a great job kiting with these archers, getting the fullest effect on these archers just with this kiting, with the upgrades that they do have.
At this point in time, a wonder victory is actually not unrealistic here for Beasty, should the Sacred Side victory not suffice here. With the amount of resource he's got in the bank.
You're not... using your stone on a wonder seems crazy.
I don't think Golden Horde uses stone for wonder, though, similar to Mongols.
I know Mongols don't. I assume Golden Horde could, but maybe they don't as well. What is it, 8k each resource then? Okay, so Wonder
Vic use stone. Interesting.
Well, maybe we will see a wonder this game.
We're just hearing from production, the overlay has not been tested with the wonder, so we could be getting some unexpected behavior. To be fair, that's not a realistic win condition, typically. Now, big mass of the Kipchak archers out there as well. We're seeing every single university upgrade being researched behind this now, also getting followed up with men-at-arms.
Yeah, I mean, BC's at the point where he can get any and every upgrade that he wants right now. The Kipchak mass he can now utilize to kite and be quite a bit more effective here in some of these engagements, as we're already seeing that here now.
Oblast not really standing a chance there up against the fully upgraded Kipchak archers now.
I mean, they took down like 2 or 3 and lost all of them for it, basically. 3 left there for DeMu.
Look at the bleed damage coming in. 2 of the Hoblast on the retreat. Going down eventually. Still raids coming for BC, distracting DeMu there on the sides.
11,000. BC's dropping a wonder. BC's got to drop a wonder, right?
He is. In the back of the space. Oh my god. Actually going for the wonder. Monument of the Great Khan is coming in. While he's holding the sacred sides. Oh my god. That's crazy.
This is absolutely... Do you think if you're DeMu, you see the wonder drop and you're like, oh, get me out of this game?
Could be. At the same time, I wouldn't blame him if he thinks, oh, you just spent so many resources here. Maybe you're a little bit too cocky. This gives me a chance to come back.
This is such a demoralizing thing to see, though. After the start that DeMu had in this game, it felt like it was all his. It felt like he had this one secured for himself, but... You know, Beasty is always one of those players that he can fight back from detrimental situations. And sure enough, that's exactly what he does here. We have some Hobblers trying to deactivate the Sacred Site, which at this point, Beasty's got another timer about to start for the game victory here.
Oh my god, defend Beasty's wonder. New objective just been reached. Looks like we don't have a timer for that. So we'll just have to guesstimate. We're now at 48 minutes, so 15 minutes from now. Everybody, like, tune your watches.
Okay, and actually, DeMu oversteps the Sacred Site and gets off of it, so the timer keeps ticking, and I think Beasty sent his kip checks over there to clear up the rest of those units. Oh, he's got the middle to deal with too, though.
Are we gonna get a decapped again on the Sacred Site? At least this time there's a wonder.
Yeah, middle Sacred Site is definitely getting decapped. DeMu has this massive ball again, and Beasty has a lot invested in the eco. It's almost at this point where he could delete 20 economic units and still be able to keep this mass and maybe take some trades a little bit better.
These men-at-arms are insanely tanky, being fully surrounded, still taking quite a while there to go down.
Synchronized shot in. Able to get some good AoE damage in. BC, though, just constantly re-rallying. Kip checks now should be circling from clearing up the Sacred Site. Probably going to pick off some reinforcing units if I had to guess. Might go for some more eco damage, but while it does seem like Beasty's continually getting pushed back, this is just time that he has, and DeMu does not have the same resources.
Look at the queue. And right now, that's the entire army that's coming out now. 31 triple production men-at-arms. That is 100 men-at-arms in queue at the moment for Beasty.
And just like that, he's up at 27 men-at-arms after being in single digits, but just a few seconds ago. And he's just sitting at max pop. So yeah, it seems like he's losing. It seems like he's getting pushed back, but in reality, he's just sitting and chilling and not having a worry in the world. Now DeMu's army, the reinforcements got cut off, like we mentioned, with the kip checks, and the front and side army is just getting obliterated now with the reinforcements.
Yeah, entire army getting routed, as you said, and there it is. GG's going to be coming in. DeMu realizes he cannot take that Wonder down. GG comes in, and Beasty able to take a lead 50 minutes into game number 1. We're now at the first game of our third set, and it's already 10 p.m. This has to be a curse, man.
Crackety, why do I feel like this happens to us all the time?
It does.
It's always like, hey, we're going on 8.5 hours. Get ready. We are 6 hours, 15 minutes in, and we are about to start the second game of the third series here soon. What a wild back and forth there for Beasty versus DeMu. Beasty able to hold the push, able to continue to hold, and then, the Wonder just probably took the little bit of air left in DeMu's sails on out.
The Wonder, no. Okay, this time the Wonder did get to stay up. Man, look at the total resource gathered there. That's still a crazy, crazy big difference there. 40,000 more resources gathered for Beasty. And in the late game, in the really, really late stages of the game, getting that additional, like, 50% of military production. I'm just going to say that it's 50%, right? Like, you're going from 2 batches of 2 to, like, batches of 3. I'm not a mathematician. I'm just going to say 50%. It's not 50%. But anyways, you're just getting a ton of value out of your batch production there. Next up, we're going to be moving over to Holy Island. It's going to be, oh my god, we're getting HRE. It's in the game up against the Shushi's Legacy from DeMu.
Yeah, HRE used to always be the kind of prio pick on a lot of the hybrid maps, you know. That extra economy just means extra water and easier way to take over the water. But a lot of these other civs now that have been coming out have gained their attraction on the water. Obviously, Zushi, one of the most hyped up ones, especially on Holy Island. So we will see some excitement there, I am sure, in this game number 2 after the wild back and forth of game number 1.
Oh, man. That's gonna be an interesting one. Now, Shushi's Legacy, goated. Absolutely goated on Holy Island, potentially. It depends, like, when you see those grand meditation gardens coming in, it's gonna be, like, really, really solid. Like, you're gonna be in a great position to, like, maybe get, like, an emplacement. Oh my god, we're jumping straight into it, Dapson! Straight into it! Here we go, game number 2 between Beasty and DeMu, moving over to Holy Island. Of course, we got the players immediately building up those docks on the shoreline here, wanting to go for that extra economy on water.
Yeah, I mean, such an important thing whenever there is deep sea fish to at least put a little bit of focus on into it. And sure enough, that's where both of these players are starting off with that. Looking at Meditation Garden's location for DeMu. I mean, look at the triple stone and the gold vein in the middle. That's close to Beasty's base, but like, come on now. Could you even get 4 stones with the potential drop?
Probably. Wait, oh my god, that is...
I think you'd barely be out of range of the 4th stone, but maybe not. I'm not really sure here.
I think right in front of the woodline. Yeah, right here, right there. I think that's the moneymaker. It's the Launchberry patch as well. Double stone, gold, a little bit of the woodline. That has to be it, right? Like in front. Yeah, that's a really good one. That has to be it.
That was the one I initially saw. That's obviously closer to Beasty's side, but DeMu has some primetime locations that he can opt for himself here.
Yeah, I mean, imagine getting a dock emplacement every 2 minutes.
I mean, when you put it like that, it's just absolutely wild to deal with. But Beasty, we'll see what his reaction is. Obviously, you know, HRE has their own bits of bonuses to their economy. Main thing here is, you know, with the fishing timings, a lot of times I find on this map specifically, some people can be overly greedy with castle or just be a step too late. It's such a fine line when it comes to these hybrid maps.
Looks like it's going to be a relatively fast age up here. Not going to be going for an immediate double dock play here from Beasty, as he's already sending villagers out to the gold. That's going to be taking him a while to get all the gold in, so maybe it's still going to be a double dock play. He has got 8 villagers on it.
Yeah, probably just slowly starting to build that up, rely on the fishing boats a little bit more, but if the third villager goes out to the gold, he will be able to be going up in no time. He's going to scout out DeMu's side of the map, wants to see, you know, how much fishing he is investing on into.
As most of the fishing ships at the moment on the shoreline fish. And yeah, it is going to be a second dock now coming up from Beasty. It looks to be going for a faster age up behind this. Just looking at the villager split.
Yeah, just we'll be able to drop the age up in the next like minute or so there from DeMu. Meanwhile, Beasty
Can we check his vision? Does he know about the spot in front of his woodline? We check DeMu's vision? Yeah, okay, he does.
Yeah.
He does. Wait, no, that's Beasty's POV. DeMu? Okay, DeMu knows as well. DeMu knows as well.
DeMu's gotten a good amount of information as far as the map goes. Haven't seen any villagers start to move out yet. Sometimes you'll see them, you know, move 1 or 2 villagers out a little bit earlier, as being able to drop that right as the age up resources come in.
Should be seeing a villager move out soon to place that meditation garden. Please let it be at the front side. It's such a good spot. Yeah, villagers moving out. He's going for it. 4 villagers. He sees the value. He sees the vision. Is that? Yeah, it's already. Oh my god, that's such a great one. That is such a great meditation garden. Oh my god.
Those are some that you dream about, and it's not the chapel that Beasty opts for. Instead, it's still Minework Palace, even on the hybrid maps.
Yeah, opting for the mine work, so Mill most likely try and do some damage here on land as well with some early upgraded units. I'm not the biggest fan, I have to say, but I think it's... I don't know, like, I like the Minework Palace personally just a lot more from the Order of the Dragon perspective, since the units that are getting, like, the additional upgrades, like the Men-at-Arms, they're just able to get so much value on these hybrid maps. A single Man-at-Arms, and once he gets low HP, receiving less damage, he's just gonna get that extra uptime. Look at the overlay! Oh my god, the technology! We can already see the resources in there. That's a good amount of resources, Gabson. That's a pretty good amount of resources right there.
That is solid for sure. And do you think the map layout for Holy Island maybe decided Beasty on the mine work? I know with the forward wood lines, obviously it's a little bit thinner. You don't get to stay on it for as long. But when you have it just the back wood line, you can kind of tuck the chapel up next to it, a lot closer to your TC, and usually you can have your whole wood economy inspired for a lot longer with just the chapel.
Yeah, you're making a great point. I think that could definitely have played into that, into decision making there. But we are at the same time already getting the Pierce Armor upgrade in for Beasty, which does kind of make me think that this might have been planned.
Yeah, so goes for the Men-at-Arms, also going for a Springled ship. Meanwhile, DeMu's queue is a galley and just a galley.
For the time being, meanwhile, first Men-at-Arms coming out for Beasty. Alongside the Pierce Armor upgrade, DeMu already has enough stone for an outpost emplacement, so in case he sees the... Oh, he's going for Palace Guards as a defense choice. That's a good one. Have a lot more movement speed than a normal Man-at-Arms, so we'll be able to chase those down.
And the first men-at-arms moving on across. There's 2 more in queue, so bigger focus into the land than typical. But Beasty, he's not only focusing on land, he's got the 1-1-1 as far as boats out, or the last demo is in queue, so we'll be able to start trying to push out across the map.
Oh, men-at-arms not being reacted to immediately. Springled ship is getting found out on water. DeMu going for a DeMu ship.
DeMu is
no springled ship yet, though.
queuing. Yeah, but the problem with this demo ship is if Beasty moves across, which he already is with his galley, this demo ship's so easy to snipe out, and it doesn't even have enough damage to fully take down the springled ship.
It's going to be difficult now for him. Has a springled ship in queue now as well. Just needs to micro back the fishing ships here, but food is starting to run rather low for him. Demo ship is going to get find out. Archer ship going to be focusing that one down.
And these fishing boats starting to get sniped out. They tuck all around the one springled ship to do some healing. Palace guards for DeMu starting to move on forward as well. Demo ships just kind of pass by each other and don't want to worry too much. Oh!
Survives for the time being. He's going to try and go for a loop around back towards the dock to heal up. They were able to survive this pretty dicey early timing here for the time being. Never mind, loses the demo ship.
Does end up losing the demo ship, and the demo ship for Beasty is here. DeMu has to be so careful about turning around with his galley to try to snipe it out. Beasty just barely dodges out, isn't able to get the connection onto the big amount of boats. Next demo ship pops out for DeMu, and it gets taken down. Same thing with the galley, though. It's springled ship versus 2 springled ships here. There's fishing boats to help heal that up, but that means they're not working. That means it's draining your wood economy. A fishing boat does get taken out. So Beasty able to do a little bit of damage on land, but Palace guards head to the dock. Try to get a villager pickup. Will pick up the villager.
Men-at-arms, though, making their way over to DeMu's wood line. It's about to get turned around now once those men-at-arms... It's already a lot of men-at-arms, and the demo ship is coming in. Archer ship tries its best. Man the sails coming in. Gets the correction, but now the men-at-arms into the wood line.
Reaction! A no
1
reaction!
villager, 2 villager, 3 villagers, 4 villagers.
And there's going to be more.
That's a ton of idle time at the worst point in the game for DeMu. Somehow able to get the connection there. Unfortunately for Beasty.
IO?
Did not move that springled ship away. Oh no, not the Imperial official. They're so costly for Sushi's legacy.
Sushi, that's so important.
And Men-at-Arms just able to run on back. Another good connection though.
Able to take down another springled ship, but we are seeing Palace guards versus men-at-arms, but the men-at-arms already got a big connection there, so Beasty just following back for the time being, and we'll see what his plan is now that he has taken this initial lead.
At the moment, looks like he's just gonna be doubling down on the men-at-arms. There's a lot, like, still men-at-arms in queue for him. DeMu also still pumping out more and more Palace guards. Alongside the scout, looks like he's going to be trying to go for an attack onto the gold there from BC. Just as he's trying to get an outpost up, could potentially get a big timing push in there. Onto the gold, workers. The scout alerts them. 1 worker is going to go down. Make that 2, most likely.
Villager does end up falling. So does at least get a little bit of some return damage here. Starts to tank up quite a bit of fire. Perfectly enough room inside of the TC to fire down on these Palace guards. Double outpost emplacement being... triple outpost, sorry, being rushed up into the wood line. So Beasty will take some losses here on the return fire, but he's doing the same on the other wood line. This is just basically a base trade.
And on water.
But there's also a water trade that Beasty looks like he is winning.
No demo ships at the moment for DeMu. Looks like the connections, the archer ships just got taken down a little bit too quickly. And DeMu looks like he started focusing the men-at-arms inside of the wood line there.
Yeah, villagers found enough spots after the triple outpost finished on up for Beasty to be able to stabilize here. Meanwhile, on the other side, there is quite a bit of idle time, so it's just essentially a massive base trade here. Some economy trades, but Beasty took the win on the water, and now it looks like he's going to have a little bit of a better trade on the land as well, just because of that triple outpost rush up. He didn't lose as many villagers as what it seemed at first.
Yeah, DeMu completely idled out on the food. Fishing ships finally able to go to work again. At the end of the day, he's still down 6 economic units. 12 palace guards remaining on the field, 15 men-at-arms though. Looks like DeMu is trying to chase after those men-at-arms and is going to be able to do so with the superior movement speed of the palace guards, but these fights, not sure if how well these fights are going to be going here for DeMu. Still feels like there's superior numbers on the side of Beasty.
Yeah, and Beasty even pulled back one of those low health men-at-arms, allowed the tankier ones to soak the brunt of the damage, and can always try to heal them up with a prelate down the road, but hard to sacrifice prelates from inspiring your economy, and I don't even know if BC has any out right now.
Yeah, BC doesn't have any prelates, so his economy is completely uninspired at the moment. Not sure if he's even realized at this point during the game. This is not the typical HRE economy that we're used to. DeMu's still at 4 out of 4 Imperial officials behind this. Men-at-arms in time into the wood line. I think Beasty, with the current amount of men-at-arms that he has, is he just gonna be going for like? I've been saying Burgrave a lot at the moment with the HRE, but it's not just the bonus production speed that you're getting; it's also the additional charge damage that you're getting, and it just makes your men-at-arms absolutely supercharged when it comes to even just taking down or chasing down villagers as well.
Yeah,
there it is.
Sure enough, Burgrave is coming through. Beasty just going to go for that timing in the game. If it's men-at-arms versus palace guards and your men-at-arms are an age ahead, upgrades ahead, this is just going to be quite easy for him. Wants to just make sure he doesn't take any damage before the Burgrave finishes, so cuts off the palace guards that are trying to circle.
Just jumping inside of the outpost there. Burgrave Palace, not sure if that's been spotted out yet, whether it's in the line of sight of these palace guards. Don't think it is.
I don't believe so. Next couple men-at-arms trying to help protect up these villagers. One more villager doesn't get taken down, but one on the wood line does. DeMu matching the Castle Age timing, but obviously not quite the exact match here. Burgrave finishes. Men-at-arms upgrade immediately coming through, and I think BC just said, all right, ignore the rest of what's in my base, let's go do some damage.
DeMu, though, is going for the right reaction here. A lot of archer ranges for crossbows are going to get put up now. DeMu trying to also push a little bit on the waterfront with equal ship count. And Armstrong, DeMu also going for a little wraparound there. He's seeing some immediate crossbow numbers, in queue coming in there immediately. But, oh my god, the men-at-arms are already there. Timing is looking quite rough there for DeMu now, as he's got men-at-arms now about to be diving his TC.
Yep, splitting off. Some go to the gold, some go to the TC, some go to the wood line, and Beasty has enough out that he can sacrifice the numbers to be able to do this. Some can even sit on those ranges, try to kill the crossbows as they come out.
Imperial officials getting taken down. All of the Imperial officials here under threat now. Crossbows trying their best, but it's just not a big enough mass of them now.
Yeah, they can try to kite this out, but there's just so much damage. Wololo coming through. Crossbows actually sniped out the 1 men-at-arms that might have gotten Wololo there. Villagers, though, they're just running. They're trying to find a safe spot to get to, trying to give enough time for more crossbows to come out and try to clean this mass. But Beasty, he's not given time.
Yeah, not giving any time, indeed. Crossbow mass is starting to get up to some decent numbers here. Able to do some good damage now onto the men-at-arms. DeMu still has some resource in the bank. Able to now also go for a little bit of a return raid onto the water. Just needs to be careful as he doesn't actually have any superior military. Gets a couple of snipes there on the fishing ships.
Yeah, Galley not quite getting focused by the sprinkled ships on Beasty's side.
DeMu ship in queue. DeMu is diving a little bit too deep there. And there it is. He's gonna get a pretty big connection in there, at least on one of the ships. DeMu just sacrificing now in order to snipe down the archer ships.
Yep, archer ship does get cleaned up. Demo ship, though, will be able to blow that sprinkled ship up if Beasty wants. Yep, and he does decide to go ahead and blow it up. Take the victory as you have it. Another men-at-arms raid. I see another villager on the ground. This has been an absolutely, I wouldn't say sloppy, because it's both of the players have made decisions to make these trades. It's just been a bloodbath of a game, though.
And even though DeMu went for the Shaolin Monastery, Beasty is the one with 3 relics already picked up. And the last relic on the island or next to Beasty's base.
Yeah, and we have one military ship out for DeMu, but we did see some emplacements on those docks, so we'll at least deter Beasty for a little bit of time. Triple demo in queue for Beasty, though, so might decide it is finally time to take a decisive fight on the water here. Oh, Imperial official gets sniped out as it was pathing to probably get some taxes.
DeMu, he's had to reinvest a lot into these Imperial officials so far. There's a lot of wood at the moment in the bank, but nothing really to spend it on for the time being, other than potentially mass demo ships.
But Beasty is making this big swap here. He is transitioning into Horseman, getting the next set of ranged armor in as well. So if his Horseman mass, gets up to 10 or so before DeMu spots it out, the crossbows are almost worthless, and DeMu already a step ahead, though. Spears in queue upgrade has already come through as well.
Now, big sprinkled ships are going to get taken down by some of the demo ships there. Still in placements, working overtime. Looks like Beasty's still going to be going for the engagement there. Naval upgrades have been researched behind this as well.
Yeah, and the galley, the archer ship, is just taking down as many of the fishing boats as possible before the sprinkled ships get taken out by the demo now that pops on out. Doesn't react, though. Gets sniped out before the sprinkled ships fall. DeMu losing more and more of these fishing boats, losing his meditation gardens as well. And the Horseman play, it is up at 11 now. The spears are only at 2.
With that, the entire water economy now is about to get shut down by Beasty from the looks of it. Although DeMu is able to hold on for the time being, it's just a lot of idle time that's been caused here. Meditation Garden, as you said, is going to get taken down. 11 horsemen, 18 men-at-arms now. And DeMu, all he's got to his name at the moment are crossbows and just a couple of spearmen.
Yeah, I mean, the horsemen alone would be happy to take down the few spears that are there to just take the engagement, take the fight. And Beasty about to attack from 2 different angles. So should hit the wood line with that horseman group. Also looks like he is going for the docks with the men-at-arms. Although a lot of ships there. There's some deer being taken at the bottom, but not yet scouted out from Beasty. So many of those villagers are low health. These horsemen going to be very effective.
Oh, that's going to be another Imperial.
Oh,
yeah.
It stayed alive there on the way out.
Now he's housed. The DeMu has no wood to rebuild another. Oh, he's got no wood to rebuild a village right now.
No wood to rebuild a village at all, but at least resecured the wood line.
We're also now seeing a couple of Landsknechte coming in, but it feels like at this point, yeah, Beasty knows just what kind of position he's currently in. He's time to just go for landmarks.
I was about to say, this is a mini landmark victory. He already took down the Meditation Gardens. He's about to take the Shaolin Monastery on out. First, a blacksmith. And then all that's left is the TC. So DeMu, he's going to be forced to take this fight if that Shaolin Monastery burns.
Behind this, DeMu, he's still reinvesting into more spearmen, more crossbows. In theory, the correct units to be making here. Beasty just has so much more mass. Looking at the army value, it's 7,000 to 5,000, with just more counter units over on Beasty's side.
Yep, Horsemen again are going for that wide circle around to try to hit the wood line, to try to hit the economy. Does look like a lot of the spears stuck around, but now the spears are all sticking around. Beasty could just run by, try to close the gap onto the crossbows.
Oh, is he taking the fight? Oh, he's just running past the spears.
Yeah. Straight for the crossbows. Has the backside
jumping
surround.
Into the TC?
They gotta jump into the TC. Jump into the TC. Onto the backside again, but now men-at-arms get to close the gap, get to take the fight against the spears. DeMu has to take this. This is not a fight that is going to go over well for him. Crossbows jump out again. Horsemen are already on top of the crossbows. Spear number is no longer a thing, and DeMu throws in the towel. Game number 2 goes over to Beasty.
Just like that, Beasty is going to be able to find himself on match point now in this best of 5, leading 2-0 at the moment against DeMu here. And he's got to be feeling quite happy and comfortable now in the current position that he's in. Gaining 4 relics here in this game, even after DeMu chose to go up with the Charlotte Monastery.
Yeah, I mean, the early men-at-arms play, DeMu had the right idea as well himself. He's like, all right, you got men-at-arms, I got palace guards, I can try to run around, we can try to trade some economies and whatnot, but slowly over the course of time in this game, BC was just able to eke out a lead here and there, and it just continued to build on from that.
It's just, in this matchup, typically, like, early on into the game, that's when HRE has the just way superior economy with the early inspiration. But as the game goes on, Shushi's Legacy tends to pull ahead a little bit with the Imperial officials, and once the inspiration is no longer as efficient in the later stage of the game, I feel like if DeMu just played a little bit more patiently, maybe get like the outpost emplacement inside of his woodline, similar to what BC did there with the massive outposts, could have been a different story and just investing more into water, but overall, still very well played by Beasty, and DeMu also just going for the Palace Guard play here is a fine reaction overall.
We do see game number 3. Map and civs have been decided. It will be Bald Land. DeMu snipes out China from Beasty, leaving him Sengoku. Beasty snipes out Macedonians, leaving DeMu with Mali. So Sengoku versus Mali on the game-deciding match here. DeMu wants to try to come back from this 2-0 deficit that he has found himself in.
Yeah, and Malian's definitely going to be a civilization that would potentially allow him to do so, especially against a civilization like the Sengoku. Just having access to the Dunzos here, one of the best spearmen in the game, alongside javelin throwers. If we get to a position in the game where there are going to be Ashigaru handgunners, a civilization like the Malians are going to be excellent at just dealing with the things that Sengoku can really put out onto the field. Sofas are also pretty decent as a raiding unit, as they also have some additional movement speed compared to like Mounted Samurai and Horseman from Sengoku, which just have absolutely absurd movement speed with the Takeda Daimyo.
Yeah, we'll see this game plan here. Looking at this ending, closing out the game fight, BC just outmaneuvered with those horsemen so well. Already had the numbers lead, had the men-at-arms value lead, and just very decisive ending to the bloodbath of a game there. We'll see if game number 3 can continue to live up to the expectations after the exciting first 2 games.
Yeah, indeed. Looking at this map on Bald Land, it is going to be like the namesake map here for DeMu, and definitely a map where he is going to be like hard pressed. Like, he needs to get this victory, and if he loses this game, it's going to be a clean 3-0 victory for Beasty, and that is going to eliminate his chances at qualifying to play in the Road to Red Bull Wololo Londinium. Beasty, he's going to get one step closer to qualify, and I know that both of these players have been really, like, especially Beasty has been eyeing that qualification spot. He's been trying very hard these past weeks, as all players have, and he's definitely one of the favorites when it comes to qualifying here. And now we're jumping on in game number 3 on Bald Land. We got DeMu in the color purple, playing as the Malian civilization. His opponent, Beasty, in the color yellow, playing as the Sengoku Daimyo.
Yep, a lot
market
of
usage in.
pressure on the line here, a lot of nerves living up to the expectation, but Beasty, I would say, has obviously a little bit of you know, a little bit of extra benefit on his side, especially after that game number 1. That has to be such a tilting game to go through with, especially from DeMu's side. Felt like he was so far ahead, ended up having a wonder dropped on him from the other side, and it can't feel good to be in that position. First Yatai already out. Next hot dog cart probably moving. Oh no, not quite in queue yet.
Pit mine, and at least the initial pit mine for DeMu in the front of his base, but without any early aggression from the Sengoku Daimyo, not something that he really has to be too afraid of.
Yeah, so that's one where, you know, building that many houses isn't too, you know, worrisome for DeMu. Like you said, there should be no aggression. We do see that next Yatai starting to roll to the next location that Beasty is opting for. And we'll see how aggressive DeMu is going to be with this cow boom economy on the Mali side. There's some players you'll see them, you know, just make 3 cows and then just play more of an extended feudal using that extra eco to stabilize against someone like Sengoku. Some players will just go full into cow boom to try to match the passive economy for Sengoku, but that can be very, very dangerous with the way these Yatai work. But Age Up should be getting dropped here soon from DeMu. Sengoku always a little bit slower with their Age Up with these openings that they opt for.
Yeah, it always takes a little bit longer, but Sengoku Daimyo getting those Yatais up behind us are going to be scaling quite nicely when it comes to the food department as the game goes on. Mansaquari now coming up for DeMu. And recently, just in general, with Malians, not just recently, it's been actually quite a while now at this point in time, we've just seen a lot more focus when it comes into massing up the sofas in the early game as well. I'm not sure how well sofas are going to trade into Yari cavalry, potentially, from the Sengoku Daimyo, but sofas would give DeMu a pretty good tool when it comes to just sniffing out those Yatais and getting some pretty good early damage up against them.
Yeah, there was definitely a huge transition away from the typical Donzo Javelin mass, play super defensive, feel like you can never really move out and get out on top of the map, to this Sofa transition that allows you to take some potential map control, try to do some raiding, try to pick off some reinforcing units here and there, and more importantly, transitions into Castle Age so well with imported armor. Ryokan is being invested into, and Mansaquari getting close to finishing, so this will give DeMu that timing, like I said, to maybe be a little bit more greedy with some early cows potentially, instead of focusing on production building right off the bat. We will end up seeing, though, what he decides for.
Yeah, Ryokan's gonna be nice here, especially when it comes to just having survivability on your Yari cavalry. And we do indeed see the stable coming in now for DeMu, so sofas are most likely gonna be on the menu. And just having the ability to be able to heal up your cavalry as the game goes on, while Malians are not gonna be able to have that. It's gonna be quite nice here for Beasty for sure with the Yari cavalry. He's gonna be able to take some good trades if he's able to keep them alive, to heal them up later down the line.
And sure enough, there is the mill finally being dropped. DeMu just needs more and more wood right now. He wants to go ahead and drop a second pit mine with no pressure coming in, but also needs to drop some cattle ranches, get the mill starting producing those cows. So really running thin on where his wood is going. Warrior Scout, though, moving out to be quite annoying. Double stables drop.
Yeah, so Yari Cavalry definitely on the menu here for Beasty. gives us a glimpse of what he's gonna be aiming to do in this game. DeMu at the moment looks like it's warrior scouts, interestingly, from him. Fairy Cavalry should be doing quite well up against them, especially once the Takeda clan's gonna be coming in.
Yeah, and the hot dog carts, they're not taking too much damage from those scouts. They're kind of just laughing it on off. This one that was been focused down for the longest on the front side is so close to the TC, it can just move back, have a couple hammers from a villager if a villager decides to, and the Yari Cavalry are here now to deter the warrior scout away. Barracks immediately to follow from DeMu here. He does have a cattle ranch fully filled, and the second one now starting to get filled too.
Warrior Scouts starting to do some damage to the Yatai. And behind this, DeMu actually going for Dunces instead, so not going to be a sofa play here. Flipping the script up a little bit. You see already 4 Yari Cavalry out there on the map. Yeah, they're doing a pretty good amount of damage to the Warrior Scouts. First one is going to have to get pulled back. Yatai also going to get pulled back, and yeah, Warrior Scouts getting split up here now. Tries to finish off the Yatai, but feels like it has enough health left to survive for the time being.
Yeah, not only that, there was another Yari Cavalry on the way. So Yatai still just hanging out all the way out there. Hit mine getting delayed by the scout from Beasty. So frustrating there. Houses started to get built around it. DeMu now, though, probably going ahead and dropping that second pit mine, giving him some extra gold income coming and some extra cow production. He is up to 7 cows now already. Beasty's Yari number, though, is no joke over there.
It's a lot already. Up to 9, and now the first daimyo is going to be coming up as well. It's going to be giving that attack speed boost to Yari Cavalry as well. Villager trying to run away. Donzo going to be there to defend, but Villager is still going to get taken down.
Yeah, just not quite enough to defend that villager that moved out to build the pit mine, to build those houses. The Yatai food trader does get scouted out by the warrior scouts. Should get taken down with some ease, as there is not a massive Yari Cavalry over towards the southern side. They are more in the mid-map.
Oh, good snipe on the trader. It's also going to alert the warrior scouts to their deep being a Yatai in the corner. Oh, gets one of the Yari Cap there as well.
Yatai also finally getting sniped out, so Beasty down to 3 Yatai now instead of 4, but has been able to have those alive for quite some time. Very different than the game we saw earlier, where Kojardi did just an unbelievable job of sniping those down early and just making sure that number didn't stay as healthy as it could have been.
Oh, Yari Cavalry going for full surround, probably on those couple of Donzos there. Not enough Donzos there in order to take this fight. DeMu getting picked apart there. Military being just a little bit too far out of position, and the second group of Donzos also getting picked up. DeMu, he's still trickling in units.
As the next set of Donzo about to get circled too. This is such a bad look here for DeMu, as he needs those Donzo to stay together, to stay up. The next 3, not 4 times in a row? Do you think you learn?
When will you learn? Gets a couple of Yari Cavalry, but looking at the destroyed value, that's still somehow even. Is that accurate? Must be.
I never trust the graphs anymore, and the destroyed value at the bottom. It's just always all over the place. The big thing here is Beasty has 12 Yari Cavalry, has 11 Yumi out, and DeMu has 9 Donzos and some Warrior Scouts. I don't think that matches up too well against the Sengoku mass here.
Yeah, the Yumi Archer's gonna absolutely destroy those Donzos. DeMu at the moment, he's on 9 cattle, so has 3 ranches full. But he needs some javelin throws pretty soon. Is gonna be privy now to the Yumi Archers being massed up by Beasty. But at the cost of potentially losing 5 more Donzos for it.
I don't think that's a trade you want to take. He does pick up another Yatai.
Oh, gets to Yari. Okay, okay. At least trades out there a little bit. And now there's mass archery ranges coming up.
Yeah, realizes he needs to mass up some range units and mass up those range units quickly, or else he will be in a detrimental situation. Those few Donzos have circled around to the gold vein. I believe, yeah, rallying Yumi can deal with those without too much idle time. And there we see another Yatai pop out to move to another food location. Beasty doing a great job of just making sure he is staying 4 of 4 on the Yatai. Gold now starting to get dove for DeMu. Loses 1 villager, loses 2 villagers. More importantly, though, the infrastructure now starting to get burnt down. And DeMu, he can't really push forward to try to push this mass away right now, so should probably lose the pit mine, will probably lose the houses, and this is at a time where Beasty's dropping Sake Brewery on the backside while still doing all of this damage.
Archers are gonna find some of the javelin throwers and some of the Donzos there as well. Pit mine is gonna go down, but yeah, Sake Brewery. Gonna be some brutal timing here for DeMu. He's behind the military mass. About to be behind in the tech up timing as well. Does have a good food transition with the cattle. Just needs to find the way to age up here now in order to really have that food income realize.
I mean, this is the game where I feel like Beasty's just been in full control here. Compared to the first two, it was like crazy back and forth. This one, you know, obviously Mali, they're always kind of a little bit playing in the defensive side, but without that sofa play like we talked about, they're even more defensive than what they've been here recently, and we've noticed that obviously completely here. Beasty able to hit a castle, timing very, very clean, that has a big mass because of those trades in the middle. Barry's starting to run low. DeMu's actually housed as well, able to rebuild those houses, most likely around the pit mine. But once this veterancy comes through, I am going to be worried for DeMu.
Javelin throws moving on to the Yumi archers. Veterancy upgrade's not in quite yet. So Beasty is going to be falling back at least for the time being. Well, doesn't need much more in order to be able to go for his own age up, but it's not quite there yet. 14 cattle behind all of this. So if he's able to get the age up in, he's not going to be in the worst of positions. He needs to find the timing for it.
Timing just going to end up being so hard, so crucial to kind of find this fine line of being able to age up while not taking too much damage, but damage is already happening. Veterancy on the Yumi, veterancy on the Yari cavalry as well. Another pit mine will go down. Houses will start being burnt after that. Javelin throwers trying to step up, maybe do some damage to the Yumi, thin out that mass just a little bit, but you gotta watch out. The Yari cavalry can dive at any point in time. Beasty can just dive the base at any point in time, thin out the Donzo mass.
Now it looks like Beasty, he's ready to go for the dive. Because of that, DeMu not going to be able to go for the age up inside of his base now. Units going for a play. Farimba Garrison actually getting put up now. DeMu, he realized he's got no chance to get the Grand Fulani Corralin, but it's getting found out, it's getting scouted out. Farimba Garrison has been found out, has been spotted. It's immediately turning towards
immediately make the move over to that. Donzo gonna have to close the gap at the Yumi. They're focusing the Donzo this whole time. There aren't too many Donzo left. Now the Yari decide to go do a full circle around the javelins, and this is such a big fight, such a good timing for Beasty to take this fight. Cleans up all of DeMu's mass, and DeMu is not yet castle, so now we'll start bleeding villagers. Now does not have anywhere safe and calls game. Beasty takes the 3-0 victory, a decisive game number 3 after some crazy first 2 games.
Yeah, indeed, a clean 3-0 victory means that Beasty, he's going to be able to advance to the semifinals tomorrow and set himself up for potentially qualifying to the Red Bull Wololo Londinium main event. Yeah, what a great performance here from him.
Yeah, a 3-0 victory. The first 3-0 that we casted today, as both series before this went the full distance. It wasn't the quickest series with the first game in there, but still a nice 3-0 victory for Beasty. Feeling good, giving himself, into the next round and into the next day.
Yeah. I mean, he is, after all, one of the favorites here, especially in this weekend when it comes to potentially qualifying alongside some other big contenders as well, of course. And yeah, he's going to be the first one, at least so far, that we know here, to be able to move onward to the semifinals. But I believe now is a good moment for us to take a quick look at the bracket and get an overview of how things are looking in all the other sets at the moment as well.
Yeah, getting some updates in these other series, as it's not just about the series we're casting. There's other games, other series out there. Anatan, able to redeem himself of the last series between Baltoon and Anatan was super close, but Anatan takes a 3-0 decisive victory there. And so it will be Beasty and Anatan in the bottom side of the semifinals. Top side of the semifinals, we are still waiting on between Puppy and Kiljardi, as well as Lucifron versus Numadon.
I believe Lucifron versus Numadon is going to be the next set that we'll be covering here on EGC TV. And it looks like, due to time constraints, looks like the set has already started. So we're going to be jumping in to their game number 2 very shortly. But before that, we still have an interview to get into.
Beasty, congrats on the 3-0 victory. Might not have been the easiest set, even though it was a 3-0. Started out on an exciting note for sure, though.
Thank you. I'm glad I was able to win. It's getting late, so yeah, we had some unique games, I would say, today. So I'm happy for that.
Yeah, starting out with game number 1, you got Dark Age Rush, which, put you on the back foot at first, but the big kind of downside was the first 1 or 2 engagements. It felt like you got taken down to single-digit military units, and DeMu still had a big force. What was your kind of game plan to restabilize and get back into the game after that?
I mean, I thought the game was going well until he did the first big engage, because I got completely caught off guard and I didn't even have my control groups or anything, so that was pretty messy. So I was like, oh, that's not good. But then I just tried to raid as much as I can to kind of come back into it, and over time I actually realized kind of late which landmark he went with, the wind guard, because I completely forgot that it's just printing free units basically. Because I was surprised, how does he have that many units? And when I saw the landmark, I was like, oh, okay. So I knew that I was probably really ahead on economy. He wasn't really mining gold, so, just got all my stone upgrades and then just kind of took it all the way.
Yeah, when did you decide to make the swap to drop in the Wonder? As obviously had a massive bank of resources. Was that just one that you looked down and you're like, I might as well do it? Was it a little bit of a mini troll? What was the decision there with the Wonder?
I mean, I had Sacred Side going, and I just switched to Men at Arms, and I was like, do I do a Wonder maybe through the game? Because it's all my resources, but I was like, let's do it. Because I had Men at Arms switch ready, and I had the Muscovy Yasuk age up, so my Men at Arm had 11 armor, I think. So I was like, I should be able to hold when he counter pushes, even though I just wasted all the resources. So I just kind of went for it, and it worked out.
Yeah, I feel like game number 1 almost decided the series. That's a hard one to come back to mentally if you're DeMu, but game number 2, it was quite the bloodbath with Palace Guards versus Men at Arms. It felt like there was a lot more focus on the land than water in Holy Island. Do you feel like the meta is slowly becoming a little bit more balanced when it comes to that map, or do you still think water is still kind of the main focus?
I mean, it kind of depends on the matchup and what person its first aggressive focuses on. If someone goes all in on water, you can't just go land, because then it's kind of like a balancing act. But I was very surprised he went Palace Guards, because when I was sending Men at Arms and Palace Guards showed up, I was like, oh, okay, we're doing that game. Because I feel like if he goes Palace Guards and I go Men at Arms, I think it's better for me. So I didn't mind that too much. And another thing is like if I ever age up into Burger, I can just get maces. So if we're ever like in a situation where he has mass palace guards and I have mass men at arm, it's better for me. So I was like, as long as I don't, bleed out workers, I think this is going to be pretty good for me. But I think Holy Island is a lot about just balancing water and land at the same time.
Makes sense. And then going into game number 3, it was a lot more of a stable game compared to the first two. Kind of one-sided there. Do you feel like Sengoku has the matchup advantage versus Molly, or that was more of an execution that you had?
I'm not really sure. Like, I think both civs are really, really good in the, I don't want to talk too much about it, but I think both civs have their kind of advantages. It's just, I think at the end of the day, they're both top tier civs, so I think it comes down to what people prefer to play. Like if they want to play Malian or one of the new civs. So I think both sides can win.
Awesome. Well, big congrats. I'll let you get some rest, get some sleep after the big day. You'll be facing off against Anatan tomorrow as he took Baltoon down with a 3-0. So excited to watch that one from the side there tomorrow, and we'll be cheering you all along.
Yeah, I'm excited to play. I will see you guys tomorrow, and enjoy the last set.